Alright, guys, welcome to our first lesson about animation. So, for this lesson, we will be learning or we will start learning about applying software animation. So, this manual discusses first, scan your rough drawing, import the image to the workplace or workspace. 3, trace the drawing using bitmap tool, and then you can start animating. So basically, that is the traditional way of creating an animation. You start from a traditional drawing using a pen and paper, and then you scan or import your image into your computer and then start tracing, and then you can start your animation. But for this case, since we will be using a software already, and your character and your designs in your background has been created using Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop. Next slide. Produced and policies in recording keeping. So, what is a record keeping policy? It is an essential component of any records management program in the animation industry. It can be an effective means of communicating to staff the record keeping responsibility and serve as record of an organization attempt to meet the requirements for accountability. So in different organizations or in different fields, we cannot avoid this confidential informations that it should not be exposed. So it applies also in animation. So if you are working in characters in a story or a new animation as a part of the company, it's your responsibility to take good care or to protect those records for safekeeping, of course, so that the public will not be informed about what you're doing. So it should be a surprise. It should be at the same time confidential. So getting to know Adobe Flash. So let's jump to the next slide. Objectives. First, identify the difference between raster and vector image. Identify the elements of Adobe Flash CS6 workspace. And the third one is to recognize the Flash tools needed for drawing. So the first objectives, we need to understand the vector graphics. So ever since you started learning about the graphics and the multimedia informations, I know you come up or you've encountered raster and vector. So raster, basically it is a type of images that uses a set of bits that represents a graphic image. So each bitmap base image is mapped into the grid. The size of the grid is based on the image resolution. So basically it is a raster image if the image changes or pixelate. So the following example files that are raster graphics, your PSD, JPEG, GIF, TIFF, and bitmap. Next, for the vector graphics, of course, I know you are familiar about this one. A computer images that are stored in the memory as lines rather than a series of bits. So that is the reason why vector graphics are refined and not pixelated, because those images are being represented into lines, not a series of bits, allowing them to be rotated or proportionally scaled. These images are suitable for illustration that are or that require precise measurements, which allow them to be easily scaled due to its mathematical nature. So the examples or the vector graphics file examples are your EPS, your AI, your draw. Okay, so these are the following example. Next, what is Flash? So Flash document compose mostly of vector images. So Adobe Flash is a vector animation software. So Adobe Flash is a vector animation software designed to create animation that can be played on the web multimedia used to add animation, video, interactive to web pages, frequently used for advertisement, games, and Flash animation for broadcast. So Flash gives viewers more responsive, rich, client-like experience. So that is the purpose of Flash, Adobe Flash. So Adobe Flash types. So what are the extension or the type of file thus Adobe Flash produces? The FLA. So when you save your Adobe Flash file, it has an extension of FLA. Compared to your Adobe Photoshop, so the extension is PSD. And what else? For your Adobe Illustrator, that is .ai. So for Flash, it's FLA. So it is the main supported file type of Flash used to create artwork and animations. So the SWF, it is read as a Swift file. The file associated with movies created using Flash technology and output of the RAW. So this Swift file is being created especially if you are playing your animation or its scenes. So if you are opening your FLA file and then you start editing and you play the scene to check whether the scene is okay, the movement is okay, you will find out that on that location of this file, you will have a lot of Swift file present on that folder. Do not be surprised, because that is actually how Adobe Flash works. Next, FLV, the view file for Adobe Flash Player. These are the actual movie files that are Flash based. So FLV. AS file, also known as the action script file. So in Adobe Flash, there is coding. So there is an action script for this one. So that is the extension of your code. So that is AS file.